Welcome to Straight Talk Recovery. My name is Maurice Ruffin.
Brett Adkins.
And I'm Eric Amron.
Hold on, man. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna slow down. We're gonna slow down, ladies and gentlemen. Brett, this is how you gonna pronounce your name.
How am I supposed to
Like you
pronounce
hyphenated the Brett.
Welcome to Straight Talk Recovery. My name is Brett. I got to think about it. Atkins. Brett Atkins. That's with
This
the
is
D.
what we do when
With the D.
we get in recovery. Sometimes we forget who we are.
He caught me off guard. We went live. We went live and I froze. I didn't touch nothing.
Now, okay, here we are, y'all. Today's topic gonna be about
So we're doing support systems today. So Dylan and Sarah, two friends of mine, they actually emailed me, and we love getting emails from people that we can reach. And today's topic goes out to Dylan and Sarah. It's on support systems, as far as like support systems in detox, residential, outside of treatment centers.
families supporting loved ones that's in recovery.
Yep.
Us supporting each other
100%.
in recovery.
Right. Your network is your net worth, they say, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody you meet, like for example, our co-host Keith, he's finishing up the recovery coach training, and all those people that are in his class are now in his network. So it's like when they start exchanging information, exchanging ideas, it's just planting a bunch of seeds.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I took my peer recovery coach course, I still stay in contact with those who were in my group, in my class, in my course.
Like-minded individuals moving forward.
This brother here, which we're gonna allow him to introduce himself, give you a brief introduction about himself, and then we'll continue on with the support system, because we support each other a lot, me and him, because we was in treatment together, and we continue that outside of treatment. So I'm gonna let Brett share his story a little bit, and then we'll get back to the main topic.
Yeah, so I'm Brett, obviously. I identify as an alcoholic who does drugs alcoholically. But for me, it always started and ended with alcohol. I guess I consider alcohol my train and drugs are the caboose. That's kind of like the coal that powers the system. But my story isn't all that unique. I'm born and raised in Seattle. For if anybody out there's from the area, specifically like Renton, Tukwila, so South Seattle area. I don't know, it's really not that unique. Kind of a broken home, single mom, struggling to get along, and she had her own struggles that I don't need to get into too much, but that what came with that with me was a sense of confusion at a really young age. Never really knowing where I fit in. And really, really, a lot of the times just scared to be home and not knowing what that felt like. So I don't know where it started. I just know, the first couple of times I smoked weed at like 11, 12 years old, and I just did it out to be cool. I was with people that, you know what I mean? It came out, and I just did it because I didn't know how to say no.
Right.
That peer pressure.
Yeah. And it was, I was a little like skater punk type, and the dudes I hung out with, this shit just naturally came out. It wasn't like and I wasn't gonna say no.
You can say surroundings.
It was my surroundings and the kind of the culture of the people I was hanging out with. That's just what they did. And I was just afraid to say no. I didn't want to look like I didn't know what I was doing. So I smoke a little pot, but I do distinctly remember, getting that feeling of where I was usually like a lost, confused kid. I was still that very much, but I felt I got a sense of relief. I felt like, oh, you know what I mean? But I wasn't lost. You know what I mean? I'm laughing, and I've got these, not maybe the wrong environment, but I got a feeling of connection with these people.
And that's something. When we start out in our addiction, if it's drinking or drugging or whatever, that first period,
yeah,
is like the belonging
Yeah.
feeling like we okay now.
Yeah.
I'm cool now. I'm
Yeah.
I'm connected to who I'm around, my surroundings.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's a pretty universal feeling probably. And when I the household I was from, I wasn't getting that in more healthy ways. I wasn't in team sports. I wasn't being, propelled to do well in school. I was pretty much doing whatever I wanted. And I found those things that some people find in a more healthy manner. I found in this group of like skater punk type dudes who,
Right.
and that's just what happened.
and I'm gonna say this. Now we're gonna get kind of back on the topic because, like I said, me and him was in treatment together, and I can recall several conversations. Like me and this brother here would walk and talk, and we had this unique bond. You know what I'm saying? Like we can look at each other and just bust out laughter on something that we seen in a client or just stuff that was going on, and we just connected with that. And I knew then that he was a brother that I wanted to stay connected with outside of the treatment program and make just support him in whatever he does. And I always talk to him about staying up here. Staying up north, like
Up
man,
here in North Michigan?
like man, come on, man, you should stay up here because you got a lot to offer. The way you share is very, very unique. You know what I'm saying? Your words are very powerful to me. And it inspires me when I hear you speak. And so that's why not only just that he speaks good, but he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? A genuine, just like Eric, he's a good guy. It's genuine. I feel that energy. It's positive energy when I'm around either one of them. Like we see each other at work. I see, hey, Coach E, whatever I say, we talk. We have a job to do at that particular time, but it's the energy that he brings. And it gives me that comfort knowing that I got somebody that truly trusts and believe in me. As a person, he don't look at me no other way as a friend. Me and you shared that once before. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's the same way with Brett. No matter what, I don't care. Just hey, you my friend. And that's very essential as far as part of recovery.
Yeah.
That support system.
100%. Like I feel like that one-on-one support that we get from our friends, our peers, is one thing. Like my main support, one of my main supports is my faith, right? Like it took more than me to get clean, and it has taken more than me to stay clean, right? And I've met some of the most remarkable people because of my faith, like you guys, right?
Right.
If I wasn't a believer, I wouldn't be sitting here today, right? And you each bring a certain variety of information of comfort, like you said, and struggle, no struggle. We all find each other,
Yeah.
and it's cool because like these friendships aren't built on drugs or alcohol, aren't built on money or favor. Like they're just built on pure love for one another and
that spiritual connection, that divineness.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, the connections I make, it's like I'm looking in a mirror. And everybody I come across now, whether they're in my support network or not, I try to look at most people as some sort of teacher to me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has something else.
Yeah, they're in a lot of, and it's all valuable. They could be teaching me what I want to emulate. They could be showing me what I want to copy in my life to get that. They might be showing me what I don't want. And both of those are just as valuable to me.
Yeah.
And I when I'm in active addiction, I'm just looking at what I can get. All of my relationships are transactional. It's it's
and they're brief.
And they're brief, and everybody involved knows that. We're not really. We're boys. We're friends. Whatever.
Right.
But we know
We're
that
not
surface
friends.
level
Right, yeah.
bullshit.
It's because of this situation, this substance, or
We're both trying to get. We both know what we're trying to get out of this.
Right.
And it's not deep. It's not growth. There's no connection. It's a facade.
We tell ourselves that to make it feel like it's okay. Well, this guy's my friend. He's my boy. I'm buying drugs from him. We're all good, right?
Yeah.
But that person that's selling you drugs is not your friend. Your local dealer is not your friend.
We're not gonna.
They're
I'm
not
gonna say me. I'm gonna just say me. I put myself there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Like I put myself there, so I should be prepared what I'm getting myself involved with. Now,
I think the other side of it too is we want that kind of friendship, so we force it, right?
right now,
And
I agree with you with that.
once we start forcing it, it becomes less friendship and more codependency. You know
Oh,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
And then we can go. I'm gonna say, far as my support system, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my mom and my sister. They have been supporting me
Yeah, they're your rock in a lot of ways.
yeah, man. They dealt with me and through some hell of a stuff, through my depression, anxieties, just not knowing what I want in life. I didn't know where I was at in life. I was disappointed in the way life had went for me.
That's pure love.
And they
pure
never
love.
and they never wavered. You know what I'm saying? They knew I can do better. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of family and friends that's out there that knew I can do better. I got two good friends back home, Melvin Sylvester and Anthony Carlisle, Fat Jack.
Fat Jack.
Yeah, that we gave him that name when we was young.
Shout out Fat Jack.
Yeah.
Hashtag Fat Jack.
Those two friends, we grew up. You see one, you see another. It's like, and their friendship never wavered, no matter what my addiction was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't go around them in my addiction. I value that friendship. You know what I'm saying? I valued it so much that I wouldn't go around them. But it didn't matter if I seen them somewhere at the gas station, anywhere, a store, whatever. It was like, come on, man, I know you can do it. They didn't look down on me.
Yeah.
They never, what you need help, you know what I'm saying? Even they knew if they gave me a few dollars what I was gonna go do with it.
Yeah.
They didn't even question.
Right.
They just said, man, call me if you need me. And I didn't abuse that. But now they still there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They reach out and just to tell me, I'm proud of you, man. Just me being clean, not this doing the podcast or any of the events. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that I'm clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the right things. And they looking at it, and they know they friend. You know what I'm saying? Like they know they friend. And even if I'm doing bad or good, they still there. But that it's just pushing me harder to hear that and from other people. When they send texts and stuff and replying to the podcast, how proud they are. Continue, because I think we are reaching people.
Sure, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I really truly for you guys to know that, for Keith to know that, for Mackenzie and Kelly, we are reaching people. We are reaching a lot of people, especially downstate. We're reaching people up here up north, and it's becoming very apparent that we need more and more of this broadcast to go out to help others.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to help family members understand their family members that's in addiction.
Well, when you were just talking, that reminds me of, like, you have friends that see some potential in you or whatever, right? You said they're still your friend no matter what you're doing, the events you're putting on, the podcast or whatever. And I have a few of those friends, but mostly family that saw potential. All they wanted me to do was put down the drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? And I knew I had some type of potential, but I had no idea what that potential was for.
Right.
And I never will have any idea until I'm able to get clean, and not just clean, but start living a better life with intention.
Right.
And
I like still don't that with intention.
With intention. And I still don't know what my potential is, but it's certainly it's something more than getting high and drunk.
Right.
And now once I can, and the fight's over. I didn't wake up this morning and have to tell myself, I can't drink today. I can't get high today. That fight is over. I have to stay cognizant of that. That fight can crop up at any time. But that isn't my first battle. Now I can think, where can I be better today? Where can I put my next? And it's I'm here. I'm with you guys right now.
Right.
And those opportunities don't happen until I can at least just stop getting high and drinking, and then we can explore our potential and see where it takes us. Maybe podcasts, but whatever it is.
Right. And we do appreciate you coming on today, filling in for Keith.
One of the things that I read in one of the books was it talked about support systems, and it says you should have 3 people in your life. You should have the person that always has your back, that always compliments you.
Mhm.
The second person is the person that keeps it 100%.
Yeah.
Right. And then the third person is who I call the 3 a.m. friend. The person that you call at 3 a.m. and say, hey, I got to do this. And they ask if they need to bring a shovel.
Yeah. The foxhole buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. But it sounds like we all have that, and we play different roles for different people. Like to one, you could be the 3 a.m. friend,
Right.
and to another, you could be the guy that's always there complimenting. It depends on the friendship and what role. I don't want to say role, but like where you fit into that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that kind of just happens naturally. But
Yeah.
like, I'll have the person I always end up on that spiritual conversation with.
Yeah.
The foxhole guy
Right.
where I'm talking about, my bullshit. The dude I can just talk about my bullshit that I don't want to vomit all over a meeting with.
Right.
So I can take all my BS
And
goes in
that's
with it.
crazy because that's how I feel sometimes with you.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
when we was riding here to the house, we could talk about stuff outside of our recovery. That's where we got to like check stuff out.
Yeah.
It's not just a recovery
It's-
conversation.
Right. Recovery always comes back around.
It comes around,
but it's not the foundation of the conversation
Right.
that we're having. Yeah.
And that's important. And also, what I'm gonna just say, and I would like to hear y'all's opinion on it. When you feel that someone is giving you support, but they're really not giving you support.
So here's the way I can answer that. So I have a buddy. He's more like a brother. His name's John. And me and John went to high school together. And when I was going through my addiction, John was like, here, I'm going to buy you a plane ticket. You're going to come to Arizona. We're going to get you right. And I kept telling him no, because I didn't want to bring the addiction to his household. Right. I didn't want to disrespect him in that, but I didn't feel that way about other people. It was just because of how much love I had for John and respect that I did not want to bring this problem to his doorstep, and I feel like we should all have a friend like that, to where we respect them that much that we're willing to put ourselves through more pain instead of bringing them into the pain.
Well, that's what drives my isolation when I'm getting high and I'm drunk. I don't want to bring, like, the end game usually ends up with me alone,
Right.
in whatever domicile I find myself in.
Right.
But alone, not wanting to infect other people with my bullshit. And I'm not isolating necessarily because I want to be alone. It's because I don't want to hurt everybody in my life.
We put enough pain and stress on
everyone else.
Everybody.
And I've reached. It's almost an end point. It's almost a good thing because I'm at least recognizing the fact that I don't want to bring my shit. I'm done manipulating all these people. Maybe I've done it too much, and I know they're not going to help me anyways.
I'm sorry. It's just don't matter anymore.
So now I'm just isolated. I'm just completely alone.
The other side to that coin, though, is when you have someone that's been in the program for a while, and you can't go to anybody else. Like, it's hard to explain just to the average Joe that there's two of you, right? There's like
the double life.
Right, exactly. Right, because people are like, well, that's just an excuse. Well, no, it's not. Like, you're meeting this guy, but had you met the other guy, we'd probably be in the parking lot fighting.
And so, like, now, don't nobody really know you and the other person.
Right. Yeah. Like,
You know
that
what I'm
person's
saying?
been gone for a long time. Like, I can't even remember the last time I wanted to use.
And mine is still fresh. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming up on a year.
Yeah.
Um.
It's on the 16th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Give me
just
some.
like
He
yours.
left me hanging on. See how he does me like that?
and then say for you, Brett, man, you got a year.
I got 385 days.
Okay, 85.
That's so much time.
Okay.
Like 24 hours is a long time, but you do that
24.
385 times.
He
Like, that's
mentioned
huge.
something. Brett mentioned something. The fight.
Yeah.
Waking up. Oh man, I got to do something so I don't. Think,
Yeah.
And I heard this in the meeting one time, and the lady said I can pick and choose my fight.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you can for sure.
Now I
Yeah.
can.
But we can't beat it, so why fight? Period. I say that like why is you fighting something that I've never won? I've never won it.
That's where the paradigm shift starts to happen, because in my mind, even and I've been around a minute, like going, I've been going to meetings since I was a kid. I would go with my mother, but I understood all these things intellectually. I would read the books or whatever. I never could quite understand this concept of surrender, and we say it over and over and over again. You go to treatment and they pound you over the head with, you got to surrender and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But
how do you do
and
that?
I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't realize, well, I don't have any skin in the game to begin with. There's no fight for me to begin with.
Right.
And I mean, that doesn't, it's not like I just wake up one day, oh, I don't have to fight anymore. For the first, especially when I'm first getting out of treatment, it's like, that's what my mind is on, is I get up and I'm like, you know, I'm kind of white knuckling it. I'm thinking about drinking it, every little bump in the road. I want to get high.
Right.
And slowly I learned that when I get up and I truly, in my gut and my heart, tell myself, like, I'm not in this fight. I don't want to get high because I can't get high successfully and it'll beat me every single time.
Right.
For the rest of my day, that's not an issue. Now I can pick my struggle. I can pick my battles.
Yeah.
And I
So
can
you're-
strive for something
the
more.
battle's picking you.
Sometimes that battle might just be, I'm trying to just not be an asshole today.
Yeah.
I want to just be a good person today. And
Right.
some bigger, more expanding goals are on the back burner.
I'm
But
gonna do extra around the
but
house.
yes,
Right.
yes,
You
yes.
know,
I'm going to
I'm
reach
gonna-
out to people.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to be
Right.
nice to that coworker I don't like,
Right.
you know, or be as helpful as possible. Sometimes those are the only goals I have for that day. But those are much better than, I can't drink today, I
Right.
can't get high today,
And
because then I'm
and
not focused on anything
oh
else.
man, that will tear you apart.
Yes,
It'll
I
tear
don't
you
want
apart.
I don't want to live like that. I
Right.
don't want to have that. fight.
And that's why you're going to stay sober, because you said it. I don't want that. And that's the surrender. It's to
Exactly.
understand that, like, this drug or this drink has destroyed every part of my being. And now I'm just a raw nerve. There's no place to go but up.
Yeah,
My way is not working.
right.
And I shared this with a client. He's saying to me, a coworker gets him so riled up, he goes to drinking because they travel together.
Right.
And I said, well, you know, have you ever tried to get to know him? Because he was calling him a narcissist.
Yeah.
And I said, figure out where he came from, how he grew up. Try to understand, because you're the one getting beat up.
Yeah.
You're the one here.
Yeah.
He's not here. So you have to be a little more humble and
Accountable.
Accountable.
Right. Because
And-
he's not making you drink. Like, no one's that powerful.
No one ever
Right.
made me.
Right.
do
You
anything.
wanted to drink and you
Go to
used what
drink.
he said.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Got to put a
Right.
cut
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the hard part about addiction is the moment you open your eyes, it smacks you right in the face every morning. And it's like, you know, how do I get this? How do I get this fronted? What can I sell? Who can I run? You know, and it's like, it's an unforgiving being that's just so hard on you. You know, it does create another person.
Oh man, you
It absolutely,
do.
it
You
absolutely
become,
does.
we actors.
Yep.
We are actors in our addiction.
The best
because
liars and
every
manipulators.
role that you can think of.
Actor and the director
Yes.
and the editor
You
and
play
you're playing every
Yeah.
every role.
You know,
you're the producer.
Around this person, you can be funny. Around this person, you gotta
Gotta be serious, right?
You know,
Yeah.
all this and
Yeah.
that.
And you know how to play these people to get what you want at the end of the day, right? The hard part,
Didn't go to acting class for
right?
it.
The easy part now is you don't have to play a part. Like, you
Just be
are
you. Just
good
be-
enough the way you are, you know. And that's, I think, where the surrender
I'm
comes
gonna say
into. Is,
when we say wake up and not having that battle, that thought process of just, you know, worrying about using or
Yeah.
being a part of the addiction.
Well, that's my main.
This morning, woke up this morning, called you, hey, I'm on my way. You
Yeah.
know, it was like when I got up, I had a plan. Take
Yeah.
a shower, do this, eat something for breakfast, take my meds, called you. I'm on my
That's
way.
your
pick you
routine.
up. Yeah. Called you while I was, hey,
Yep.
you know, we got this time. Okay, I'm here.
Right.
And that's what it is on a daily basis that I try to work on. Get up. I know I gotta go to work on these days. My days off, do something outside of treatment,
Yeah.
programming,
Yeah.
recovery, to learn how to live life normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
you
like-
have to venture into the world.
Well, yeah, you know, like go out to eat, go shopping, go grocery shopping,
Right.
go like they having this weekend the Thunderbolt thing at the Boyne down in Charlottesville Lake.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I missed it last year. I won't miss it this year. Be a part of the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's important to have friends outside of addiction. It's important to just be Eric, to just be Brett, to just be Mo, and not have to be on guard or not have to answer recovery questions. Like I have a few friends that aren't in recovery and they don't even know about that time in my life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, it's funny. I have not many. I'm
Right.
not from here. And my whole circle up here is pretty much people that are either from treatment, work in the treatment, whatever. But I the few friends I have, guys from work or whatever, I'm constantly slipping recovery philosophy type shit. But because that's just part of my vernacular now. It's just the way the lens that I look at the world with. But you're right in that it just I don't even know how to phrase it. Normal friends or whatever.
Right. The norms.
Yeah.
And I tell people this, like, if I went somewhere and somebody was drinking, it wouldn't really bother me.
No.
I wouldn't put myself in the position, but it wouldn't bother me because
Intention. What's my intention? Why am I there?
Well, yeah.
Well,
mainly I don't go to no parties or barbecues or something like that. But just saying, if I were, because I do go out to eat and people have
of
drinks.
course.
Right.
Well,
and more power to them.
And
more power to them.
It doesn't bother
Like you're
me.
not their coach. You're not their,
Right.
They live their life. I just abused it to the point where I can't
Right.
do
But
it.
that's not
Exactly.
everybody's
That's
thing.
where I'm at. Like
Right.
I know I can't.
I
do it.
overstayed my welcome.
Right.
And I'm not allowed at that party
But,
anymore.
yeah.
I've cut myself off from that party.
One of the things that I don't want to say irritated me, but like when I would go out with my friends and they know I'm in recovery, so I'd be like, I'd like to order a Coke, and they'd be like, I'd like to order a beer, and they looked at me, I'm like, I am not your coach, dude.
Right.
You don't have to feel weird drinking a beer around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That-
Like,
that's
it's
a good-
okay. You're
that-
not going to do anything.
That's a good point.
Right.
That's
But
a good point.
it's nice that people do give us the respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when people come into treatment, they say sir, and I say don't call me sir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like don't call me sir. But
You
I do
say, sir, I'm
appreciate-
looking for my dad.
Right.
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Or I need to stand up for that
that
judge.
respect that you're giving me, but I don't want to be called that.
Right.
Just call me Mo.
Yeah.
I'm Mo. That's it.
Yeah.
Flat out. But anyway, Brett, I really appreciate, man, that you showed up. I've been trying to get this guy on the podcast for
A minute.
And
I had to talk to my manager, you know what I mean? I had to open up a spot.
well, we're
I'm
gonna
a tough
fire.
guy to get a hold
I
of.
know
Right.
we're gonna fire him because this guy can play the guitar.
Oh, here we go.
Man, yeah, I'm gonna put you on front now.
All right.
The guy can play the guitar real good, and hopefully one day he'll come and just give a 2-minute or 3-minute skit on us for us, you know. But I do appreciate you, man, very much man, for coming
It's
in.
fun being here.
Eric, all the time. This is the guy. Eric O, Coach O.
Coach O.
I want to give out a couple shout outs. Do you like to have a shout out to anybody?
Everybody that's in my circle, what's up?
There you
Shout
go.
out. You know who you are. They all know who they are.
They are.
I can't. Honestly, he put me on the spot. So I can't.
Right.
So next weekend, we're going to have Tom Overton on. And like
Tomo, shout out.
Yeah.
Big buddy of Tom's.
There you go.
Tom's been someone that's been I look up to him for a long time, and now that I get to work with him, it's really cool. Like he has an amazing story that starts out in California and how different recovery is there. But I'm excited to have him on, and I really appreciate you coming on today because you brought a very fresh outlook on things. You know, and it's people like you that help me stay sober because it's a reminder of, you know, there is good in this world, you know,
For sure.
and I appreciate you for that.
Likewise. Appreciate you.
I can't wait to Tom because I lived out in California and I did a little recovery out there.
It's different out there.
And
Yeah.
it is definitely.
I started in
different.
Seattle in the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's all
It is
different.
different.
Yeah.
But now for me,
But the same.
Yeah.
The principles are the same.
Right.
it is, but it's different.
It's
different.
It's like it's linear,
We
but
look
but
for
it's
the
beautiful.
similarities.
I
We
will
look for the
say this.
similarities.
I will say this. Vanya Corals, starting over incorporation. She has. I stayed at her sober living house out there in Corona, California, and you know, had to go to meetings, but I didn't really understand what recovery was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I white knuckled it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the things that this
So you were
lady
just
is-
clean. You weren't clean and sober.
I just got to
Yeah.
put it this. She planted the seed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
She planted the seed. I tell her that. I always hit her up and say, hey, if it wasn't for you to show me what recovery was, I didn't indulge.
At
really
least
in it.
display it for me.
Yeah,
so I can
no,
see
she
it.
planted
Yeah.
the seed. She really did. The lady is very powerful. So I give a shout out to you, Wanya. Also, Cuts for Recovery, Nico down in Greenville, Michigan. Also in Grand Rapids. If you hear about him or see anything that he has on Facebook, hit him up. His boy is bad on the haircuts.
For sure.
Tina at Lake Street Pub, love you, thank you. Also, all y'all that who supported the recovery prom, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those who attended, I thank you for coming out. We had a nice time.
Mel threw it down with that food, I heard.
Oh yeah, and
That
Big Dame, you showed out, man. They talking about you, bro. We're gonna put something together. We're gonna have you back up here, man, and do a show.
Yeah.
You and a couple other comedians. We're gonna do something real big out here, okay? And I thank you, and I'll get at you soon. Yak Tacos, Railhead. Go check it out down there on Hall and Division. Go check out Yak Tacos.
They're really
Yeah.
good. That taco place. is really
No, this is in Grand Rapids.
No,
Yeah,
isn't that the food truck?
it's no. This
Oh, that's Tyler's Tacos. Sorry
yeah,
about that.
yeah. This is in Grand Rapids.
My bad.
And finally, Miss Kelly, Mackenzie, and Keith. You know, Keith, go and finish that course, man. Get back. We waiting
Coach
on
Keith.
you. Yeah, getting on my nerves too. I love you, brother. I love you. But we welcome you. Thank y'all all for supporting and being a part of Straight Talk Recovery.
You know, one more thing too is if you want us to cover a topic, like definitely send us an email or the phone number.
231-459-5231.
Yeah, and then we'll give you a shout out. We'll cover the topic for you. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, just I got the number on the screen. Send an email, a text, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We will. Oh, matter of fact, just send a text because we don't have an email up there.
Not yet.
so just send a text, or you can call. If we don't leave a message, we'll get back with you. Say, hey, any questions y'all would like to know about recovery, how y'all maybe can be supportive of family members, how to get into a treatment program. We got one of the best ones in the state of Michigan up here.
We are looking at merchandise too. We are looking at shirts.
Oh,
shirts and hats.
that will be coming out. We're gonna get some shirts, some hats.
Recovery swag.
That's right.
Hey, we're gonna bring it to you. Thanks for tuning in, family and friends. We love you. Peace. Good job, fellas.